All right. Let's see what we got here. How can I invite Tom? Why can't I invite him right now? What's up, y'all? If you're watching this live, go ahead and skip forward a minute. I'm trying to get some things sorted right now. Something's going weird with Chrome. I just saw a tweet about it, about Chrome being weird. Something's going weird with Chrome. I just saw a tweet about Chrome being weird. I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. I can't get access to anything. It's like, hold on. One sec. Oh, here we go. Invite. There we go. I'm going to get you in some time now. Sorry, we're going to get Tom back. We're going to get Tom in here. All right. I was panicking too because if I wait too long and my live stream is supposed to start at 12:05 and I start at 12:06, it like doesn't work. I don't know. I don't understand it. So I had to go live like right at 12:05 or else it would have been botched. So that's why I started without him, but I just sent him the link. All right, he should be good now. I just sent it to him. Okay. And it looks like Chrome is back on board. Should be good now. I just sent it to him. Okay. I just wanted to make sure my internet was good. Okay, so Tom is in the house hopefully in a second here. All right, let me double check. All my links are up. Everything looks good to go, and I think we are. We got a lot of shit to talk about today. Where's the man Tom? All right, hopefully he pops in a sec. This is the problem with when me and Tom do stuff, man. It's always last minute, and it just needs to not be. I don't know why. It's always like 2 a.m. on Tuesday night, and I'm like, shit. I did not prepare for Tuesday or for Wednesday's episode, and I had to like pull up all the links and like get everything sorted out now, and it's just like, why do I do this to myself? All right, cool. One sec. Let me know what you guys been up to. We got a shit ton of stuff to talk about. Kate kind of looks like Tom. What's up? There he is. Yo, what's up, dude?
I'm good. How you doing?
Oh, sorry, man. I don't know what happened. I was like ready to go, and then my Google Chrome, I started it up. I was on the normal Wi-Fi I'm always on, and just like nothing loaded. And I just saw a tweet about an hour ago saying Google Chrome had to fix some updates, and I was like, bro, are you serious? Because everything's set up for my stuff on Chrome, so I'd have to restart everything and like get like I don't know. It's like all this bullshit with streaming that you have to deal with, you know? All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Fire. All right, y'all. Sorry, apologies for the 3-minute lag here because I don't know what happened. Let's see. I'm part of what? I'm part of the holder that got rugged on StarCatchers. You're part of the holder? What do you mean? Like only one person got rugged. Whatever. That's probably not true. So we'll talk about it. We got a lot of shit to talk about. I've got a lot of things to talk about. Oh, Taizo sold his StarCatcher pre-review. That's probably smart. I told Devin to do that, and he is very glad he did. Or no, I think he actually waited. I don't think he took my advice, but he probably should have. But anyways, yo, we got a lot of shit to talk about. We got crypto teetering. We got OpenSea going up potentially. You know, we never really know if we're in a bull run until we're in it for a little bit, because you have to be able to look back to know whether or not we are, like at the numbers and stuff. We got some NFT projects that launched recently that are doing better than I thought, meaning we have a little bit more liquid in the market. We've got a couple of project updates for projects we've mentioned in the past that are like not blue chips, but they're not new. We've got Elon Musk buying into Twitter and becoming on the fucking board, which is, I think, hilarious. We have Britain, dude, literally the Royal Mint of Britain. What the fuck? I'm sure you've heard of that, right?
Yeah, so I posted about that like immediately because I was just like, that is fucking so wild. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, and then we have some other projects, some announcements that happened, and then obviously we have the StarCatchers story that is kind of taking over Twitter. I don't know if you've heard of it. Have you heard of the story?
Completely missed this.
Completely missed it. All right. Well, we'll fill you in. So guys, if you're excited to get into it, subscribe to the channel, join the kingdom, like this video, click the like button. I have Tom's stuff in the description if you want to find him on Twitter and YouTube. Yeah, follow us, and yeah, we'll get fucking started. I'm going to find my graphic. Boom. Right. Cool. So we got cryptocurrency teetering. It's looking a little bit red just in the last 20 or in the last 7 days. It's we had a fast run up, and Bitcoin's still holding at 43K. Ethereum's at 3,200. It's seen a decent dip, in the past few days. It was at like 3,500, like literally a day ago, I think, though.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it
I
was.
hope people aren't panicking and selling and freaking out. I don't know what's going to happen next, and I think that's why NFTs are also teetering, because crypto's teetering, and people are like, what should we do? And I saw Alex Becker this morning tweet, "This is a dip you should probably buy in." And I don't know if that's because he's invested now and he's just trying to like save his bags, or if he truly believes this is a dip. And we don't really know. And I don't know why my computer won't load this. Oh, okay, fantastic. All right, well, we won't look at that then. But yeah, so OpenSea is doing the same thing. Kind of, we're sort of teetering here. For the 30-day, we've got 358,000 users, 1.85 million transactions, 2.47 billion in volume, and it's like a very, very subtle, small ramp up. We had that ApeCoin thing that pumped us up for a couple days, and then it dropped back down. And this looks healthy. This looks like potentially the beginnings of a bull market. What do you think?
Yeah, so like I think we've been over the past couple of weeks, we've been looking at different events and thinking, okay, is this going to ignite? Is this going to trigger a bull market?
Mm-hmm.
Is this going to kind of kick things off? And then we assumed that the ApeCoin drop was going to be the one, and then the kind of like, I don't know, not if the conspiracy, but the kind of the feeling about what happened was that those holders that got a load of ApeCoin were able to push that liquidity into something else, and seemingly, potentially, it all went towards Azuki.
Yeah.
And then we ended up with Azuki announcing their companion drop at NFTLA, and that kind of just kicked things into even higher gear, and they kind of touched crazy heights. I think going to close to 35 ETH or 34 ETH at one point.
Yeah.
Drop back down to about 25, 27.
Yeah, there's something like that right now. It's funny because I saw some people tweeting and they were like, "Man, Bored Ape Yacht Club holders shivering in their clothes right now," because Suzuki is just flying, and I think people thought it was just going to keep going, but there's no way it can't just keep going. But
yeah, and
it was pretty wild.
On that note, though, they won't be shivering. They will be doing this because they're the ones that fucking bought
Probably.
Azuki.
Probably. Either that or a bunch of royalty in Asia came in and just sweeped everything.
Yeah.
I don't know who the fuck is out here buying these things, dude. Someone, it may have been you. I don't know who it was. Someone was showing me. It's one wallet who's been sweeping the one of ones. It's like one person. They bought the one of one for Azuki. They bought the one of one for Invisible Friends, the one of one for Feline Fiends, and like all these other projects. So there's like one motherfucker out here who's just like trampling over everybody and buying the most expensive NFTs. It's just like
Jesus,
fucking nuts.
What is it? And that's like, so that Azuki was 1.4 million, I think, was the
dude. Yeah, 420 Ethereum sale for one fucking NFT. Why? Like who and why? Because like they're anonymous, so it's like, what's the point of doing that? I don't get it, but whatever.
It's very interesting because that type of behavior like much more closely reflects the like traditional art trading market, like the fine art, antique art, having the crazy valuations of art pieces, and having people who, and the only assumption is that those are the same people. It's the same people who would pay. Scary V, yeah, Scary V, yeah. But like legit,
could you imagine
the dude? Well, like I remember the little video of him talking about how he made something like $90,000 overnight or something.
No, 90 mil. It was 90 mil.
90 mil. It was something. It was something crazy. Yeah,
absurd.
90 mil, and so yeah, he's got. If you're buying the one-on-ones, weirdly, I do think about this because I'm like, where does these things are only valuable to the level that there is someone who's willing to buy it, right? Mm-hmm. So it only has a value of 1.4 million if someone is
like who's gonna buy that? Who's gonna flip? Yeah, he's not gonna flip that. There's no way.
Well, exactly, but it then makes you think, okay, well, in the long term, perhaps there might be a bit of a disconnect between we'll see like the flaws of these really popular collections, the blue chips. Perhaps we might see a situation where they like drop, and then we see just this kind of like gap between the rares and the floors, as we already do. But the rares may in fact hold their value, because the people that are capable of buying $1.4 million JPEGs, they probably don't give a fuck if it drops a couple of $100,000. They're just going to keep on. It's basically they're trading between billionaires essentially.
Yeah. Austin says he looked at his wallet this morning and saw the 1 of 1 golden friend. I'm not sure if that's real or not. It may not be the same. It might be like a scam 1 of 1, like not a real one. But if it is the real one, the reason I think, in all seriousness, it's not Gary Vee sweeping up all these 1 of 1s, because there's multiple 1 of 1s. Is because if people came out and saw he was using the money that he's supposed to be using to like build the brand of VeeFriends to like scoop a bunch of fucking random 1 of 1s, I think people would be pissed. And plus, like, he doesn't give a fuck about that. The man walks around in a t-shirt and jeans, and like the most expensive thing he owns is like his Jordans. So like he doesn't care about that. I don't think. He just likes. It's possible, but
it is possible. I thought Pranksy was the owner of the golden. Golden Friend. Sorry, I thought it was Golden Doodle. The Golden Doodle is Pranksy, but Golden Friend, I don't know. Fuck knows.
Dude, I want to see who these people are. Like, who the fuck is Pranksy? And I just want to know, like, what do they look? I just want to see what they look like. Just because I'm like, what do you look like, motherfucker? Who are you? Like, I don't care. But I just want to know.
I know, same. I think there's from my understanding, the Pranksy is a female, from what I understand. But yeah, I'm the same. I've heard her voice, and I'm like, I just want to know. I just want to fucking know.
Just want to know. Oh wait, hold on. I just saw the Joyage Kingdom sign isn't lit. I'm gonna light that up real quick.
Turn it on. Turn it on. Turn it on. Right. So in this intermission, whilst Cade is dealing with his stage light,
much better. All right. Oh, it doesn't even look that good. God damn it. Hold on.
He didn't hear a word I said, so.
No, what did you say? You're talking shit? All right. Fire. Let there be light. Brett says highest sale of doodles was 296 Ethereum. Fucking insane. Well, just imagine. Okay, so this is a great segment to or not segment, segue into the StarCatchers controversy. So someone just made 300 Ethereum traded for this doodle sale, right? Imagine you minted that NFT and you got the 1 of 1, and literally some idiot paid 300 ETH. That's how much money. 300 ETH is equivalent to $1 million. So you paid like $500. You made $1 million off that. All right, now this is perfect, and we will go into the StarCatcher story, which I was going to save for the end, but I'm sure a lot of people are here for it, so we'll just talk about it now. So what happened is, and the reason I didn't cover this in a YouTube video is because I didn't get confirmation that this was true, because it sounded like it was just a story, and I didn't want to spread all this random FUD if it wasn't true, because there's like real reputations here on the line, especially people that I used to follow. So this account, the reason I didn't is because this person, who I don't know, this person is the one who made this story go viral. Essentially, the artist, this guy, Butrick, the artist behind StarCatchers, somehow knew what the 1 of 1, the most like the best one of the entire collection before reveal happened. He minted that one or bought that one, and then listed it for 30 ETH and pretended not to know who it was, and sold it for 30 ETH and didn't tell anybody. And then the team found out later, after he'd left the project, and then they came out with this tweet that we'll go over in a sec. The StarCatchers team, and then the team that Butrick is on, or he was on, was called like Boki. I don't even know where it is. It was called like Boki, and Boki just fired him because they found out about this, and they're like, we definitely don't want a piece of scum on our project. And so yeah, he sold it immediately after reveal, after 30 ETH. Pretended like not to know who it was. They basically tracked it back all the way through the wallets, found out it was literally to him, and he made a shit ton of money. And then someone found out, and they asked him in the Discord before he got like caught out, and people didn't know. Maurice was the owner. One of the founders of StarCatchers was like, I don't know what you're talking about. There's no way. This isn't true. And so people thought Maurice knew something. And so Maurice went onto Twitter. I think, where is it? Right here. And he basically says, like, I did not fucking know. And obviously we don't know if this is true, but this is his statement that we're making. We're just covering it. He says, I don't know what the fuck happened. I feel bad because I've been betrayed. At this point, we didn't know what was happening. People had access to it, but it's one of those things that like you can fucking track it. So why would you bother scamming when you're gonna get caught? And so I guess Butrix said, fuck it, I don't give a shit. I'm just gonna do it anyway. And so he did that, made the sale. And these are just some screenshots where they were like talking about it, and Butrix in here like, wow, this is fucking wild. Like he's literally the one who sold it. So that was pretty insane. And then this person, Andrew Wang, who I'm not even sure who this guy is. He's
the Cool Cats founder.
Oh,
he's one of the Cool Cats founders.
Okay, that makes sense. Because I thought this was the Andrew Wang who ran for president last time. So I've been following this motherfucker for a minute, thinking that was him, and then I found out there's another account for Andrew Wang, and so I unfollowed this guy thinking he was a random. I did not know he was the Cool Cats founder. That's funny as fuck. Damn. Okay. Well, so that happened, and here's what the team has said in the Discord. We may have actually covered everything. I don't think there may not be anything extra in here. Oh yeah, they're asking what's the collection not randomized. You said it was, but then they uploaded the whole thing and like the access was there for the founders, but you're not, even if they knew, it's like you're gonna get caught. Like why would you risk that? And we just saw a couple people get arrested the other day for an NFT project that rugged, and it's like because you can literally track everything back. So suck a dick, Elizabeth Warren. Not financial advice, but don't sue me either. And they basically they're maybe gonna press legal charges here, which is wild. StarCatchers said we're just gonna keep moving forward. Like this doesn't really change anything. And this is one of the reasons that when I made this video, I said, hey y'all, this is a random project that people like the art, and it's an anonymous team. They have nothing on their website, nothing on their roadmap, nothing anywhere. And every time there's any kind of podcasting I saw with one of their guys, they said, can you tell us anything about this, about that? And they're like, no, just trust us. It's basically the answer they got. And so that was about the gist I left in the video, which wasn't negative, wasn't positive. And I wasn't originally going to bring this out because I didn't think there was any reason to. And I'm not going to show the screenshots of what happened, but I think I showed you, Tom. Basically, one of their mods in the StarCatchers team reached out. Actually, you know what? No, that doesn't have anything to do with this. Do you think it has anything to do with this? Because it's not StarCatchers, but it's like, what do you think?
Wait, it wasn't StarCatchers?
No, it was a StarCatchers mod, but I feel like there's no point in like dropping this when it has to do with StarCatchers and not the Butrix situation.
Yeah, got you. Yeah. But it's still a fuck it. Like you're not going to dox them. Just like,
well,
just it's a good example of like the issues that we have in the space.
Yeah, and it goes along with the anonymous idea here. One, that people are not going to say this shit to your face. I guarantee you the guy who DM'd me would never say this to my fucking face. But he comes out, he saw the video, and this is the part where you get anonymous and anonymity and no concept of accountability, no concept of fucking anything. And he basically didn't like my video. He didn't like the fact that I didn't basically say StarCatchers is going to the moon for no reason. And he just fucking came for my throat, dude. Like this, I'm not going to show the screenshots, but just trust me when I say I have never gotten like a nasty mess. I've gotten nasty messages, but this guy was like, his wife must have slept with someone the night before or something. Like this guy, this guy was next level angry. The last time I saw someone this mad, it was because I took a bite out of my dad's sandwich when he didn't know I was going to, and then I wrapped it up and left it in the fridge with a bite taken out of it, and he thought it was disrespectful or something, and this man was pissed. And I was like 9 years old. I just remember that because that's like a core memory. But dude, this fucking mod, I'm not going to say who it was because it doesn't really matter, but this motherfucker was pissed, and I was like, wow, that is... I hope this isn't like I hope this doesn't make sense in a few months. And it kind of does a little bit. It's like, well, this is what happens when you hire a bunch of anonymous people. There's no accountability. There's no anything going on here, you know?
Yeah. I didn't do any research on StarCatchers because for some reason, my gut instinct just told me stay away. Like it was at a time when there was a lot of like projects which I just felt were jumping on a bandwagon. Coming, as in there was a lot of projects that I just felt like it just didn't feel right. So I stayed well away from it. So it is not a surprise that this has happened. It's just quite ironic that the people who are building in this space they have seemingly yet to, or seemingly there are gaps in their understanding about what the fucking hell it means for stuff to be verified on a fucking blockchain.
Correct. Correct.
and
Yeah.
and
I was trying to find
have...
those screenshots, but I can't find them. They're somewhere in here.
So...
I thought I saved them to my favorites. If I can find it in the next like 30 seconds, I'll maybe do it. Because I've got there's a few screenshots in here from people that would ruin the reputation that I have. And the only reason I would bring this up is
keep on looking for that, because I'll speak about, because I did a quick read through just whilst you whilst we're doing the intro, so I did read through it a little bit. And distinction to make: so the founder, he didn't mint the one-on-one, he sniped the one-on-one pre-reveal from someone who was unsuspecting. So someone had listed it for 0.8 ETH. The guy obviously had access to the metadata, bought it for 0.8 ETH from a fresh wallet, and then sold it for 30 and pleaded ignorant. Insane. And the crazy thing is, like, right, so 30 ETH, so 30 is like 90,000, right? I think from my basic maths. Yeah, 90,000 ish. You got to believe that he was getting more of a payday from just minting that project out.
Yeah.
And the secondary sales, being the main artist. Just from the basic math that I understand, that he, assuming would be an equity partner within the project, 90,000 is like, it's like relative pocket change. And when you are running the risk of tarnishing your entire reputation by doing a fucking dumbass move like that, not worth it. Not worth it.
Not in my opinion either.
So yeah,
I don't know why I can't even find the video that I made on them. I'm like trying to find when I posted that video, and I can't even find that. Like, did fucking YouTube like delete the video or something? I can't find it. And I also don't remember.
You must have sent it.
I screenshot. Wait, I sent these messages to you. It's in our DMs, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay,
Yeah,
I have it. So. Okay, I can find it if I do that. All right. Do you have anything? We'll spitball for a second here while I talk about it, but we'll take a quick break in the sense that you can tell me what's going on in life for you just for like a minute while I find these messages if you want, because we usually do that in the beginning, but I started late.
Yeah, let's dig into life. So we'll speak about it a little bit, like a bit later on. Things have heated up, or heated up. Yeah. Heated up is the word. Things have gotten a little bit hot in the market in the past 2 weeks, and it has been. The weird thing is that it is fun. Like it
is fun
when we're kind of in those quiet moments, and we're looking around like, so it's kind of quiet in here, isn't it? And it's like when you're having a conversation with someone and there's nothing going on, and you can't start a conversation no matter what, and everyone's just kind of, so what brings you here today? And then so kind of pointless conversations, and then things have gotten a little bit hot, which has been really nice.
True.
It's good to see some positivity. We've had some big news, and like you said, we're going to talk about it in a bit. The UK news specifically that we had. Actually, fuck it. I may as well talk about it now, right?
Sure.
I think it was yesterday, or maybe the day before. I think it was yesterday. The chancellor, so the chancellor of the UK Treasury. So, what's the equivalent of the what do you guys call it in
for the US? Treasury?
Is it called the Treasury?
Yeah, it's just called the Treasury, or like the Reserve. I think the Federal Reserve.
Yeah, the Federal Reserve. So it's like the equivalent of the Federal Reserve, and the guy who is in charge of the entire government budget for everything. He's the guy that has to present what the government are going to spend their entire budget on every year, whether that's tax raises, whatever it may be that people are not going to be happy about. Interest rates, that kind of shit. And he announced that just out of the blue, like out of the fucking blue, he announced that he has asked the Royal Mint, so the 1,000.
This is wild, by the way. For anyone listening, this is actually fucking funny. It's so funny.
It is funny. So just to put some context into this, the Royal, because I made a video about this the other day, and it was in in jest, in like joking style, and it kind of wasn't. I actually talked about what the history of the word mint meant, because I feel like there are a lot of people in the NFT space, especially young people, that have no fucking clue what mint means. And just for because, you know, especially we don't use cash anymore. Like I never use cash. So for any of you people that may not know what mint means, it was the process of creating money, like the process of creating coins and hard kind of currency. So that was literally, you would the production of coins was called the minting process of coins. And that is why we call minting of tokens minting, because it's the creation of a token in the same way that coins are. But the Royal Mint is a 1,136-year-old institution. That's a lot of years. Like that is, fuck me, I can't even do that. That was before. That was like 800 AD, 800 or 900 AD was when they started first started minting and creating money. This is a history lesson with Tom Youngs, by the way. Thank you very much.
History.
I don't charge for this. And the chancellor just basically told them, make us an NFT by summer. No details of what that fucking means. No fucking details of what that means. He was just like, guys, make us an NFT. Keeping in mind that the Royal Mint, I mean, I genuinely believe we're within 5 years of cash not being a thing.
Really?
Like I genuinely believe that we are 5 years away from that. Like I go down and get a coffee every morning. Cannot use cash. I can't use.
That's okay. That's true. Yeah. I agree.
And it's interesting because cash, cynically, or maybe even not cynically, the main function of cash, especially in society today, is for the kind of the movement of a legal activity. It's to help the economy of illegal activity. And ironically, cryptocurrency has been panned for also being the economy of illegal activity. So I feel like we're about to go through this, you know, we're about to go through this kind of like evolution where we see crypto becoming the new cash. And ironically being used for criminal activity, and because criminals need to exist, like they are not going to go anywhere. Like crime is never going to go anywhere, and they need an economy to help them, you know, to keep on going. That's just the way the world is. People, there's a lot of people that use drugs, and there's a lot of people that need to get hold of drugs, and they're going to need to do that. And I just see that over the next few years, we're going to see that migrate. But anyway, the Royal Mint, we're going to have an NFT, no information. My take on this is that this was a rebuttal to the to Joe Biden's executive order a few weeks ago about them basically putting the green light and saying, go and investigate, research, and come up with policy suggestions about how we can leverage blockchain.
And also the government, like they invited all these TikToker kids to the White House because they realized people are getting their information about like the war on TikTok. Like, they're literally listening to these 22-year-old kids, and they're like, "Fuck me, like, we need to take this seriously a little bit." And I think people are in government, even these old ass people who like suck, are realizing, damn, like we need to start taking things that like culture stuff. Like Gary Vee always talks about, he's like, we need to start taking like culture a bit more serious because it's affecting things.
Big time. Big time. Like I completely agree. That is exactly what this is from both the US government and the UK government. I think part of it, to be honest, though, the carrot for the government, like the old guys in government, the carrot really is just is the economy, and the risk is that if they fall behind from the kind of this technology or culture moving too fast and out of their reach, the countries, the US, the UK, will lose economically, and they will lose ground to China, India, Germany, whoever. And that is the big concern. The big concern is that that because this is what happened with America. And we spoke about this weeks ago, but America has lost ground when it comes to the world's tech economy. People no longer, it's no longer the first thing is let's move to San Francisco. It is, we can do things remotely, and we will base our company where tax is most efficient for us, and we will work remotely. And that is not good for the US. And the same thing happened with the UK with Brexit. Brexit fucked us. And now, so that is how I see this. What I see has happened. The US were like, fuck, we're losing ground. And the UK have been like, fuck, we're losing ground. Yeah. And so they're just trying to claw back some pride, I suppose. And whether or not this will actually get companies to like to decide to come into cities like London or wherever, I'm not sure, but that's just the way I see it. I just see this as we need to make sure we're not losing, because they are at the moment.
Yeah, we have GC coming with rebuttals here. He says he doesn't think cash is where'd it go? He doesn't believe the cash is mainly used for illegal activities. I think it's just one. It's hard to do.
It's one use case.
Yeah, it's hard to do illegal shit when you're using bank accounts. That's why in all those, like, anytime you watch anything do crime, they pay cash, because if you pay with a credit card, you can track that shit. They always, and that's how they get caught. They always get caught because they use a credit card or they used a cell phone. Yeah. So the only way to do it is cash. And right now, the people who are using cash are old people. They're using cash, they're using checks. Yeah. And the thing is, we're moving toward a world. It's not only. I would say, is it mainly used to? I don't know if it's mainly, but I mean, aside from old people doing checks and buying stuff from like their local Walmart, I don't know who the fuck else is using cash besides people doing some undercover stuff.
I never, ever use cash. I used cash on holiday a few weeks ago because I was in a place where they didn't have like internet signal. But that's a I mean, that was few and far between. My feeling was that the places that we were going and we were being made to use cash. They were doing that because it was beneficial for them to take cash. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, and the places like
and that is like, yeah. To my point is kind of like to my point that they were probably involved in illegal activity, and the illegal activity is tax evasion, and that's illegal.
True.
So
I know a few restaurants that do that. They'll
exactly
they'll have a lot of cash and they just won't claim it.
Exactly. That's what I'm referring to. And but it's inevitable. Like, it is fucking inevitable. We will be a cashless society at some point. I'm surprised at how fast it's happened, to be honest.
Yeah,
I think the pandemic has sped it up.
Yeah, because tech went straight up.
Exactly. Tech went straight up. Being kind of contactless, so that you're not touching surfaces and shit. So I look at my day-to-day, never use cash.
I don't even use my card. I straight up just don't buy stuff in real life. I just buy things online. I don't buy anything online either. I just buy pictures. But I also, by the way, speaking of tech, I'll show the first photo for the screenshot. I'll just show the first couple messages. He sent more after this, but the first one that caught my attention, he just says, "Hey man, just fuck, I'm not gonna be able to do this. Is this gonna be backwards for me? Let's see.
No, it's the right way up.
Hold on, there we go. So this is the first screenshot I have. I'm only going to share this. He says, "Hey, saw your video about StarCatchers. I can tell you're clearly salty for not getting the whitelist with the low quality fan art. You're one of, if not the worst NFT I've ever seen. Keep crushing it, bro. Stick to football. And Spy Condez, please do something." And then I'm not going to show the message after that. That's where it got really nasty. He did not like my response to that. And I definitely started the pot.
I didn't know there was more.
What else am I supposed to say? Yeah, there's more. I mean, those messages weren't that mean. But when I say dirty, it was dirty coming from someone who's like on the team of a project. Like, this is like this is the equivalent of like sending an email and like HR or someone like on the team of a company reaching out to another company and like saying
Yeah.
something like, y'all suck, you're the worst. It's just like, that's just like not a thing in business. So I was shocked at that. And then when he went in and like dug into me, I was like, whoa, bro, oh my God. Cause I
Yeah.
didn't say anything bad. Like there's no, cause I rewatched the video after and I was like, fuck me. Did I really dig into this project? And then I went and I was like, oh, this guy's just a punk. That's really it. But yeah, dude,
He's
like
a
imagine
punk.
being on the team and doing that. Like, whoa, bro.
Remember, dude, remember that when, especially with these hyped projects where when you have 100,000+ people in your Discord, you need dozens and dozens of mods.
Yeah,
And
that's
as
true.
if,
That's
you
true.
know, as if they are doing any diligence when it comes to recruiting. It is the diligence is, have you been a mod before?
Yeah.
And and then the next question is, do you want to be a mod for us?
Yeah, that's true.
There's two
That
questions.
is very true.
Have you been a mod? Do you want to be a mod? And then it's like, and then it is end of. It's end
Oh
of.
God. That's funny as fuck.
So it is not It's not surprising that the guys like that exist, because I think
Yeah.
that's.
Oh shit! I just realized I doxed him by accident. I think I may have shown who the
Fuck
account
it.
was.
Yeah, you
Forever.
did, but
Yeah,
fuck
catch
it.
me at
It's
NFT
like that.
NYC. You're right, Sean.
Yeah. It's like that time I doxed your address. I went up to the camera and was like,
that shit was so funny, bro. And I didn't even
was
notice.
like, bro. Yeah, Cody was like, bro, do you think Cade minds that you just
Wow.
completely doxed his addy?
That is
like,
fucking funny. Imagine like in 5 years we're like 1 million subscribers and we did that and you're like, all right, make a video. It's like I had to move because Tom doxed my fucking address. Fucking hell, that is funny. Okay, well, we're gonna move on, guys. If you're in the chat right now, if you didn't like the video, click the like button. We're at 100% like, but I don't know. Okay, so you know what? Maybe not. If you haven't liked the video, click the like button. But everyone who's in here has liked the video, I think. But anyways, we appreciate you guys doing that. We're gonna move on to some projects that I've launched recently. That I think we've mentioned a couple of these on here, but I just thought it was interesting because. So we had Mutant Shiba Club. This didn't do as well as we thought, but we minted this live on stream. Was it last week?
Yeah.
There's no way it was last week.
Yeah, we minted this live last week.
Dude, that feels like forever ago.
I know.
Wow.
It does, yeah. Do you want to explain how you play? Because this is a very hyped project that we very fortunately got. Like I agreed to help out on the project for just from a community aspect.
Yeah.
And so they gave my group whitelist spots. So we all got to mint this, and I think Cade was the biggest victor in this one.
Well,
the dude he showed his expertise and fucking came out on top of him ahead of like 30 other people. So fair play to him.
It was pretty funny because after we were in there. So people who don't know, we were in his Discord in the voice chat, like all chatting for like the next 4 hours. And I got the fuck out of there quick. I was like, okay, the floor's 0.5. It was 0.5 when we were on stream, but I didn't want to make any big decisions on stream. So I listed at 0.55. We got off. We like ended the stream. We hopped into the voice chat just to like talk and strategize a little bit. And I was like, man, this project is not going. I don't see people paying more than this. I'm going to just list it at I'm going to relist at 0.4 and just get out. I think I can make the sale. And it looks like here for the average sales, I pretty much sold the top there.
You absolutely called the top.
So that was actually kind of lit.
It was cool.
Yeah.
It was good fun. It was good fun because it was like that was like a proper like degen.
It was, dude.
No, it was DJ. It was very DJ, and it was a lot of fun, like that, and that was kind of cool. I suppose it was cool. It was cool to do it together. And Cade was the guy who got out on top.
It was pretty funny, and we were all in there, and I was like, and it was bouncing up and down, and I was like, "Fuck me, dude! I'm gonna be that guy who sold out early and it's gonna fly to the moon." And it was funny though, and it was underwhelming. The floor for the hype, but for me, it wasn't underwhelming. It was pretty much right, spot on. I just didn't see in the market conditions we were at. I was like, look, even in a bull market, something here just ain't. I don't know what it was. Something here just isn't quite enough. And I don't know if it was the art. I saw some photos of the art before, and I was like, no matter what happens, we're tanking post reveal because this art isn't phenomenal, right? And so, who knows? But yeah, I got out early.
It's a very very interesting project. I think it caught the imagination of a lot of people. A lot of people grinded their fucking ass out. They've gone with a strategy of a locked Discord, which is interesting.
An expensive mint.
So yeah, we'll see.
Expensive mint.
Yeah. Yeah,
Very
an
expensive.
an expensive mint I think is 0.16.
Yeah.
So
And you got out. You got out
interesting.
over a 2x though. Like you still did well, right?
Yeah, I got out, but I also had to buy back in
Oh,
because
right, right,
I
right, right. But
promised
you
that
made
I
some
was going to
profit.
be
Yeah.
part of the team.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I think I'm one and a half up at the moment.
Yeah.
So
We
I'm
still
chill.
made some
But
money.
yeah,
That's dope. But yeah, we did that
exactly.
together. That was fun. It's cool that we did the first one ever and we're able to lock in some profits. Thank you, Tom.
Yeah.
And what else we got? We got here we go. We had Fuzzy Felons also drop, which is very interesting to me. This is a project that one of the guys in my Discord, one of my OGs, and I think he's a holder also of my NFT, was on the team for Fuzzy Felons. And he was telling me about this project. It's an art project. There's a low supply. Really, really famous guy doing the project from a founding perspective. He's worked on some big ass films like the Star Wars stuff. And so he came out with an animation NFT, like a walking one. Here's just an example of one that's on the floor. And I thought it was really good. And I thought, man, for some reason, there's something here that I like. You get those gut. Oh, I like this with the dice. I didn't know there was a dice one. But yeah, there's something here where I was like, you know what? I don't know what it is. It just strikes a chord. I don't know if it's because it reminds me a little bit of Elmo and it reminds me of like Sesame Street style. And I double checked. And I was like, hey, you're not going to get sued, right? You've double checked that you're not going to get sued by Sesame Street because it looks a lot like it. And they said yes. And for some reason, I thought this is dope. And so they minted at 0.1. They've been holding at 0.25. They're down to 0.17 right now. It's a decent buying opportunity. This is about their support line recently. But yeah, I think the resistance has been around 0.25. It's hard to break up over certain numbers. And so yeah, this Fuzzy Felons did well. 700 Ethereum traded. Their charity felon is also going up. So the brand is there. People are interested in the project. The Fuzzy Felons, the brand around it is that these felons are broken out of jail. And they're doing an excellent job on their Twitter for branding wise. And so I was like, fuck, that's really impressive. And they've held up well in a bear market or whatever we're in right now. So I don't know
Yeah.
if you've heard of this project, Tom. Did you hear anything about this
Yeah.
one?
I had whitelist and I completely forgot about it. So I fucking missed it. This is one I just missed annoyingly.
Yeah.
The what was I going to say? The supply is at a really good number. Like I like the 3,000 items. I think that's really good. I think same as you. I just had the only concern was, are you going to get completely side fucked by Sesame Street?
Yeah.
And I don't. And I look at that and I'm like, how are you not getting sued? But
I don't know, dude. It looks different-ish enough, but it's also like I definitely see both going. You can only hope that they're not lying, that they have gone through all the legal hoops, because if they haven't,
I mean,
that's gonna be
they're the
really,
ones that
really
are going to
bad.
pay the price.
Exactly, exactly. But they're making a show. They've got animators on the team. They've got people who've worked in Hollywood and a lot of good connections. And if they do well, and there's no problems legally, then fuck. I think this project has good legs. And that's what I said about Cool Man Universe. And we'll see what happens. But
yeah.
Let's see what else. And then another project that my friend told me about was Los Muertos, a project with decent hype. They had like 50K on Twitter, a decent amount of volume and stuff. And they minted at 0.04. So they're sitting at a 3x on the mint. And this isn't a project that was like super, super hyped. And so I'm seeing projects that are like in the middle doing well and having good volume. Fuck, Feline Fiends, 0.36, 2,000 Ethereum trade. They flew up to like 0.45 at one point. They were at 0.2 like literally yesterday. And they had like 1.4 Ethereum trade. They had like 500 Ethereum traded in one day. We had Wonder Woman Galaxy pumping. Someone bought like 30 of them. We had Antonym getting verified on Twitter. We obviously had Azuki do their whole shit. And man, I just like, I don't know, dude. I'm starting to get some belief back in the NFT market here. I think people are starting to. Otherwise, people wouldn't be buying stuff.
Yeah, I did a little like a very crude line chart on the like OpenSea daily trading, and you can definitely see that we had been like hitting higher lows for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
we weren't dipping, and yeah, let's see what happens.
Yeah,
let's see what happens. Always dips Tuesday, Wednesday. Bet
Yeah.
Great buying days, great fucking buying days.
Yep.
And
Shout out Lucy.
shout out Lucy. Fucking hell, why do I have these fucking crazy ass fans? Jesus.
Damn, bro. Tom's
I am
sexy.
sexy though. I am
Yeah, he's
sexy.
sexy as fuck. We get it. I mean, there's nothing you can't argue that. And oh, this is
But
interesting. Lord says, weird to see Feline Fiends doing so well as a Cryptoon's derivative. The funny part is their floor was over Cryptoon Goons at one point, and I was like, oh my fucking god, like, oh, that's wild. That is wild. Their communities, I mean, here's the thing. The reason I'm so interested in Feline Fiends is because they were at a floor of 0.03 for a very, very long time after their mint, and their community stayed very strong and stayed very, very positive, and I thought that was really interesting. From what I've heard, is their community is a bunch of stoners, and they're all just fucking around, and they're like, "Fuck it," and I'm just like, this is wild because usually when the floor dumps, everyone just starts spreading FUD and they leave the project, but for some reason they stuck around and they pumped this bitch to almost half an Ethereum, and I'm like, oh my god, in a bull market, if they keep this up and people continue to believe, it could literally moon, and or it just won't, and I don't know what to think. It's just really interesting to me. I'm out of the project now. I was able to sell, make a lot of profit, and
wait,
I'm really interested
in
to watch.
Feline. You were in Feline Fiends.
Mm-hmm.
Were you? What did you? I didn't know. I didn't know that.
I got whitelist for doing some fan art.
Sick,
but
sick,
yeah,
sick.
I
Nice.
was able to. I probably will buy back in because I think it's cute. Like I really do like their art. It's cute art. So I probably will buy back in when there's a better buying opportunity. But I made some really nice cash. I've also been trying to liquidate into some cash so that I can move out. I had a L on that apartment from I think it was a week or two ago when I told you about it. I guess someone bought it because I haven't heard back from him. But it doesn't matter. I've got a lot of money on the side now. I think I'm good to go. I'm just looking for the best spot that I can get a good deal on. So yeah, took some profit and that was good. That was good, man.
Good, man. Good to hear. That's what it's about, guys. It's about making steps. Having a plan and making steps, and it's super exciting.
Yeah. So that was fun, and it was good to mint a couple of projects and like also look at projects that were kind of low that I was in and see that floor rise. Like it's been a minute since I've seen my floor prices rise on anything I'm in, so that was kind of good to see. So, okay, what else we have? Doge Pound. They've man, this project dumped hard in the bear market, all the way to 0.6 at one point, and I don't know, man. I'm surprised people are not as interested in this project as I am, you know, and I speak with my bags because I bought in the bear market at some point. I'm not gonna tell you guys when exactly, but Dogepound's got a very, very, very strong brand and a strong community, and they're working on a lot of things. And just because the floor is not up, you know, it dumped in a bear market, it's like that's not enough of a reason for me to drop out of a project because of that. They are working on a lot of things, and they've got an announcement coming soon that pumped the project up a little bit. And who knows what it's going to be? They haven't come out with the announcement yet. I don't think this is it. They announced a little bit of a thing happening with Evaverse again, but I think there's an announcement coming. But this is when you get into projects that have strong brands during market conditions that the floor is not pumped up, and that's just all I really want to say. But I mean, they've got a strong ass brand, dude. I'm not sure what your opinion is on Dogepound, but
it's for me, it's like it's as simple as where does this sit in the kind of the macro like picture of NFTs?
Yeah,
and anything Doge, there is potentially huge upside, which makes no fucking sense. But if it is the premier like Shiba Doge NFT,
it's OG. It's back in the summer, dude.
Exactly. You've got to believe that there is it's a meme, right? It's a meme there's meme upside to this. It's the same like buying into like rare Pepes or like anything that is memeable. I think this is where I think like the fucking Kevin meme, the Pixelmon Kevin ones. I'm looking at, I was thinking to myself the entire time when those things were pumping, I was like, if you get the right Kevin derivative project and, you know, low supply, you buy it for cheap, 15, 10, 10, 20, 15 years, that shit, that is the kind of shit where it's like, it could all of a sudden just become extremely valuable. So that's the way I look at those things.
Yeah, and that goes with my thought process with I've made a couple good decisions and bad decisions. My bad decisions have been not acting on my convictions, which is annoying because I knew they were true. But there's certain projects that I was like, man, that project's kind of cheap right now. That's a good project. I should probably buy some. And then I just didn't. And
Yeah.
one of those was Feline Fiends. The floor was 0.03. I could have bought like 20. And I just sat there and I was like, I already got a few, like it's fine. But I was like, that project's really strong. I don't know why it's so low still. There's so much love for this project. Why am I not buying this? And I was like, and I held off and I was like, dude, and I did that for a couple other things, and then I didn't do it for a couple other projects. But it just goes to show, like, if you have that gut feeling and you have that intuition that has proven to be right, you can trust
Yeah.
that. And as long as you
Yeah.
have a good mindset and you have a good, if you're able to wait and hold, depending on how much money you have in the market already, and you don't go with your convictions, it'll bite you in the ass if you know you're right. So for me,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, if I get that feeling where I'm like, I should buy that. I'm just gonna buy it. Unless I'm broke or something, I'm just gonna buy it because I'm almost
Yeah.
always right with these intuition things. And I work really hard to keep my emotions out of it. I just try to look at it objectively from a market standpoint, if the market will accept the project. And we've been doing this for a long time, and after a while, it not that it gets easy, but it's like kind of easy.
Yeah, so there's a rule that I kind of like. It's kind of like a life rule that I have, and it's if in doubt, don't.
Mhm.
And it is if you have like some sort of doubt over something, and there's that gut feeling like it just doesn't seem right, but if something would happen, it could potentially be good. But like, just there's something that is also like I'm doubting it. It's also the flip side for what you're explaining, which is if you have this strong like pull towards a
Mhm.
project, and you're in your kind of like gut, your gut is like for whatever reason just being like this is good, and then you're in your head you're coming up with reasons why not to. That's to me is the opposite to that.
Yeah.
It's basically trusting your gut, right? It's
Mhm.
trusting your gut. And with this, what you've explained is the example of trusting your gut, which has turned out to be correct. So they're kind of like the flip sides, but you got to understand where's the pull coming from. Is it like
Right.
is the pull like this feels really good? I don't know why, but it feels good.
Mhm.
And then it's the opposite, which is like, I think this is a good idea, but it feels wrong. And
Yeah.
I have doubt over this. And so that's my rule is like, if there's something that feels wrong, even though in my head is telling me this could be a good thing, I'm like, nah, if in doubt, don't. And
Yeah.
the opposite to what you kind of explained as well.
Yeah, and you also put out a great, I don't know if it's a tweet or Instagram post. You said if you want to make money or if you stay broke, or you said how to stay broke, and you were like get emotionally attached to NFTs. And I literally
Yeah.
that was the reason I sold out of Feline Fiends. I like that project, but I really liked the one I had. I bought it off the floor. It was
Yeah.
me. It had the glasses. It was dope. And I was like, bro, if I don't sell right now, I sold the top, which is wild again. And
There it
I
is.
sold the
But
top. It was ridiculous.
this is like uh, it can be dangerous. Like when you start potentially, you see this like pattern happening of you selling
Yeah.
the top. But then there is also the reality of like Cade has been in this game he's an OG now, and it takes kind of cycles for you to understand. Okay, well, you know where like resistance points are going to be. You kind of know where support points are going to be, and which is why I feel he demonstrated that the other night. Like he got out before everyone because he's been there, he's done it. So it's not a surprise.
I've been really focusing on like I've been so who was it? Sydney asked me the other day. I did a podcast on her channel, which is coming out soon, probably this week at some point. And she asked me, "What am I doing all day? Like, what am I doing physically all day?" And I was like, a big portion of my day is like looking at stuff and just watching things and like
Yeah.
keeping in mind of prices and price action, looking at volume. People don't do this enough. I look at volume a lot and I say, okay, volume's at 400. What's it at the end of the day? It's like 100 Ethereum traded today. I'm like, oh, fuck. That's a lot of volume for a project that's not massive. And the floor isn't a lot, meaning there's a lot of sales. And so I pay attention to these kind of things. And I see if this project, like Feline Fiends, for example, is pumping for 2 days straight. And I said, look, that shit just can't just keep pumping. It's not a thing. You can't just keep pumping forever. There will be a pullback. There's no chance there's not a pullback. If I sell at 0.4, there's a chance it goes to 0.5. 0.5 is a very strong resistance level that most projects hit and always come back down. It rarely goes to 0.5 and just blows past it. So I said, okay, I'm going to sell at 0.4 with the potential upside of it going to 0.5 and me kicking myself. Or it crashes down to 0.2 and I lost my opportunity to make 0.4 ETH profit. Whatever happens, I think it'll still come back down to 0.2 range, 0.2 to 0.3, and I can just buy back in. And I will find one on the floor that I like, and I will make that the project, the NFT that I like again.
Yeah.
even though the one I have in my wallet is one that I really fuck with. How you said, you get emotionally attached and you say, no, this is the only one that I'll get satisfaction from. But it's not true. Whatever one is in your wallet, after a certain amount of time, you'll be like, oh, that's my NFT. Like I bought my Dogepound. I bought the lowest one on the floor with the intention that I will not get attached to this one. It's ugly. I don't even like it. I'm buying it so I can flip later. And it's been in my wallet for 3 weeks. So I'm like, fam, that's my Doge. You know what I mean? It's like, fuck it, dude. Like, whatever. So
yeah, I'm so with you. It's really it's really tough. And this is why it's a game, and it's a game of understanding emotions, understanding your emotions, and like Bryce said, it's kind of market psychology and recognizing the sentiment of markets, but also most importantly understanding your sentiment. That's the hardest one to overcome.
Yeah, we'll talk about Elon Musk in a second, but I'm gonna make this a separate video. But this is some alpha for people that I thought was really, really important. That is something that is super fucking it's known in this space, but I don't think people apply it to their strategy. And it's one of the reasons that I do well is I'm gonna pull up my notes so I don't miss anything here. Well, two things. One, trading NFTs is a mental game for the most part. You know, it's like how long can you hold? And I feel like I relate it to like when the universe is like testing you and throwing bullshit at you to see how strong your self-discipline is. So like for example, you buy something and then 2 weeks later the floor drops by 0.1 or 0.2 and you go, fuck, was that a bad decision? And it's like, well, you have to remember why you bought in and what price point you want to sell at. If it's not one of those, it does not really matter what the price action is in the short term, especially in a bear market where you buy in and you have to accept the fact that you probably didn't buy the bottom. Chances are you didn't buy the bottom. So it will probably at some point go below what you bought. And that has to be okay. Regardless of what happened, if you bought it in a bear market, you probably bought it on clearance anyway. So it's like, yes, you maybe didn't get the very best deal, but it's okay because you bought in with the intention of flipping the bull market. So if we're not in a bull market, it matters not what the fuck just happened. So that's something that's really important to me. And then that leads into the floor. Why the floor always drops after you buy in? It's like a common thing that everyone thinks. I've thought it like every single time. You buy it, it like immediately drops. And the reason for that is for most people, the reason is because you probably bought the top. When you hear about a project pumping and you buy in, the problem with that mentality is when you buy, there's a lot of people who bought right before you, who bought in and now they're in profits. So they're going to sell. And then there are people like at a certain point, people are like, I'm not paying this much for the NFT. So they stop buying it up. And you bought in at 0.3, for example, and it's been pumping since 0.1. All the people at 0.1 are selling at 0.3. All the people who bought at 0.3 are saying, damn, why isn't the floor going up to 0.4? And then it starts to drop 0.28, 0.2799, 0.26. And people, fuck, and they sell for a loss. And then it panics and then it drops again. And then everyone who got in at 0.1 is still in profit, still selling. They're okay with it going to 0.2, 0.25, doesn't matter. You're the only one who bought at 0.3. And so all the people at 0.3 who bought are panic selling at 0.25 just to like save whatever they have. And like, that's the psychology of why it drops. And like, that's why you have to think about when you buy into a project that's pumping, okay, you need to remember that most people who bought did not buy where you're buying. They bought before you. So they're going to be selling. You are the exit bag if you're buying into a pump. And you might get lucky. You might get lucky and buy into a pump that's still going to keep pumping. But chances are you're buying at the top. That's just how it works. And that's just the way I think about it.
Yeah, I think you have to remember like why you're buying into a project. Are you doing it to like from a kind of a short-term flipping like perspective? Like, is that your time horizon? Right. Because if you are buying something that is based on like there's some sort of news, there's something going on, or you've heard it from an influencer or something, and you're like, well, I think I'm only one of a few people that heard it. Fucking bullshit. It's too late. People have already bought it. Like Cade said, people bought it before anyone was talking about it.
Yeah.
And you are the exit bag for when And if you're hearing about it from someone else, it is already pumped. It's already pumped. It's pumping, or it has already pumped. Be aware of that. If you think that there is, if you expand your time horizon and thinking, okay, well, actually, I might be holding this for couple of months, maybe, then you have to be okay with the fact that you might have bought at a slight probably, you haven't bought at a discount price. You've bought at a slightly inflated price, and it will go down. But you just have to be aware. You have to remind yourself, like Cade said, of the conviction. Why did you buy it in the first place? And be completely agnostic to the fact it drops after you've bought it, because it will. So it's just understanding, again, like the thing is that we talk about this because we've done it, and there's nothing like it apart from getting your hands dirty and just living it and experiencing it yourself. You can only talk so much about it and hear about it, or without, you have to kind of experience the potential pain of what that feels like, and then you can kind of go from there. But you need to go through it.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing that came up in that podcast with Sydney was that I noticed this. I think there's a lot of stupid humans, but also I think there are more smart people than we think. And I also think that almost no thought you've ever had is actually unique. Any thought that you think you're the only person thinking this, everyone else has thought of it. And I know this because of TikTok. You'll see someone make a TikTok and I'll be like, motherfucker, I thought I was the only person on earth who thought of stuff in this way. And then I look and there's like 300,000 likes, and every comment is, this is me. And I'm like, oh shit. We're all actually, like, we've all kind of thought of these. Like, you see some bullshit happen and you're like, that's stupid. Why would they ever think that? Thinking you're the only one who sees it that way and everyone else does. So if you're thinking something, chances are a lot of other people are thinking the same thing. It's just whether or not you're willing to act on those convictions. And the way you come up with convictions is you're in the game for a while and you do things and you try and you test things. And then you say, okay, I kind of know my shit. I think this will happen because of these situations and because I've seen things, and this is what I think will happen. I need to act now. The reason that people fail is because they have the same thoughts as you, but then they don't pull the trigger. And then they say, I should have bought whatever before it pumped. It's like everybody, and you're thinking, I'm the only one who knew that I was going to do that and I should have done it. It's like every single person on earth is thinking that too. Everyone says, I should have bought Bored Ape at 2 ETH. It's like, dude, everyone should have bought Bored Ape Yacht Club at 2 ETH. Like, we don't fucking know that. The only people who actually did are the people who actually bought and acted. But let's see. Someone said people who bought the top of Mechaverse. Dude, imagine having that much money and being the person who bought in at 10 ETH or whatever. It's like, you got to be a special type of stupid to be buying the top of Hapebees, the top of Mecha Apes, the top of Invisible Friends. Like, where, like, or buying a Zuki at 35 ETH. Like, why?
That's such a good point. I haven't even thought about like the Zuki, like that
unbelievable.
Level, like,
there's people already selling for losses, bro. There's people selling for losses who bought at 30, selling for 25 right now. And I'm like, God. Anyways.
Jesus Christ.
This is like one of the last stories, I think. We got Elon Musk. He's been buying stock in Twitter since January, apparently. And he has joined the board of Twitter. And he actually, if you're on the board, so I just found this out, you can't buy more than 14% of the company. So he will have at most 14% of Twitter. But he is the largest shareholder, I believe, of Twitter, meaning he's probably going to start, saying, let's do some things differently. And I know a lot of people have some ideas about this. People are really hoping, I'm really hoping, because we've seen people on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram lose their entire account, their whole career in one night. They're like posting, everything's good. They got sponsors, everything. And then they wake up and their account is literally gone. And it's like, there's no one to like contact either. It's like you tweet YouTube and hopefully they see it. But it's like, dude, there's people who worked years, 10 years even, to get a YouTube channel going, and then it just disappears overnight. Like, that should be fucking illegal. What are you talking? Like, that's not a thing. You can't do that. And they can, because it's their own platform. So people are hoping that Twitter does that, and they say, okay, you guys can, like, freedom of speech entirely, which comes with a bunch of risks. But it's also like you can't just pick lines and just draw them every other day like YouTube does. They just come up with new regulations and just implement them tomorrow. Don't tell anybody. And then someone loses their channel. It's just absurd.
Yeah, it is absurd. I do. I'm a like massive Elon Musk maxi. Like the dude can do no wrong in my eyes. Like, I think his like net benefit, net positive contribution to the world is unfathomable. So I think this is cool. I think it's cool that he's in there. I think he's got a really good perspective.
He made a
And
funny tweet yesterday. Did you see it? He said something
yeah,
like, it was like right after they announced like Elon Musk is like the largest shareholder of
yeah, it was
Twitter.
like, I think it was, oh hi, lol.
Yeah, he posted this on Twitter. Like, he's so fucking funny, dude. Really,
He
he's
is
not gonna.
exactly.
He's
He
just
is,
he
yeah, oh hi,
understands
lol, yeah,
he understands how social media works. And also one thing is that people. So I understand when like for me before I understood how money worked a little bit, I also thought there should be no billionaires. Like why the fuck would you ever need $1 billion? But obviously, Elon Musk does not have $1 billion in his bank account. He just his net worth, what he's brought, his value is equivalent to about this much money. And one thing that people don't think about billionaires, I'm not saying there should be billionaires, but one thing people forget to think about is that the reason he's a billionaire, and there's any billionaires for the most part, is they've probably created billions of dollars worth of jobs, of opportunities for people. Like you got to forget, like if you say fuck Jeff Bezos, yeah, sure. But also, like, there's a billion people out there who are working and are able to provide for their own family because Jeff
yeah,
Bezos made a product and a service that created jobs, created services, and all these people saying "fuck Jeff Bezos" all have Amazon Prime. So I'm like, fuck all of you. But it's like, and I'm not
I'm
standing up for billionaires. I just want them to like remember there's not just one situation. He's a billionaire. He should solve world hunger. It's like, fam, he's trying to save. Like that's your version of what would happen if you were a billionaire, maybe, and probably not because you get $1 billion, you probably wouldn't save world hunger. But Elon Musk is on a mission for himself to like get people off Earth. That's his mission. That's his version of saving world hunger. So people are like, why isn't he trying to, solve the debt problem for America? It's because like, bro, this is his debt problem in America. It just
yeah,
happens to be different. If you want to do it for world hunger, go and be a billionaire and do that then. But he's doing this. There is someone else who's a billionaire who is also trying to save world hunger. Everyone is doing different things and everyone's focused on different stuff. And it's like, it's not really fair to just say, you have $1 billion, you should do this. It's like, all right, that's not fair. But
yeah. I completely agree. I was about to press the send button on it yesterday. It was a post. It literally was, if you flame on Bezos, Musk, even Zuckerberg, like to be brutally honest, like if you flame on them, you are a fucking clown because you do not understand how the world operates. Because it is completely like exactly what you said. The amount of value that they have brought to world economies, the amount of like you think about Amazon and how that has driven innovation on all sorts of commerce, whether it's like from supply chain, from the ease of getting stuff across the world as rapidly as possible, reducing the price of stuff so that we can get things at a cheaper price point. How many jobs have been created around the world, and then you look at like Elon Musk, who's doing that with Teslas, trying to like basically get rid of all petrol, like as in all like gas guzzling vehicles. These guys are like genuinely trying to move the world forward. And you have even Zuckerberg, like, dare I say it, like, how much time have we all spent on Instagram for the past 10 years in time? You can't flame the guy for creating the tech and making it, because at the end of the day, we all fucking use it. We all benefit from
there's
all
good
of this
things
shit.
and bad things from both, and if you want to flame
Exactly.
someone, you got to flame the government, dude. Like, well, he should
Yeah.
save world hunger, and like he should get the US out of debt. I'm like, fam, if he did say he donated $13 trillion and we got out of debt, you know what happens in 5 years? We are right back at $13 trillion in debt. Like, it's not going to solve anything. And plus, like,
Yeah.
it's not his responsibility. He's a private dude who wants to do this. That's his thing, right? There's people in office who want to do other things. Go vote for those people and have them put pressure on them to make, vote for things, to get treaties going, to get whatever they want to do and try and push that. But like, don't forget that like Jeff Bezos is on a mission to create the best service that's going to make life easy. That's his life goal. Like, that's his personal life goal. Right. And I think they just forget. They look at headlines and they don't do any research on the headlines, but they just look at the headline and say, yeah, he should do that. But it's like, bro, you don't understand the mechanics behind anything around that. So it's like, it's one of those things that like, when the good thing about social media is everyone has a voice. The bad thing is that since you have a voice, most people don't use that as a privilege and they just share a headline. And I'm like, fam, there are so many moving factors to everything. Like, when people are saying, I remember I used to talk shit about influencer people. I was like, man, I wish that guy's Instagram would get deleted because then he would actually have to go work a job. And then you forget, like, this guy's like employing like 20 people. And like, this is
Yeah.
his dream. Like, it's just because it's not mine and I think it's stupid. Like, you don't know this person. Like, this person may have came from nothing and he just happened to strike gold and became an influencer. And now he's so happy because he gets to live out his dream. And he's actually donating 20% of his net worth to these people. And you don't know about it because you didn't do any research. And there are people doing lots of things. Like, it's just not black and white. Nothing's black and white. Whether or not you agree with Zuckerberg and believe the things he's doing is like largely irrelevant because he's doing them anyway. But to think that like people at that level, even like Bill Gates, I'm not defending any of these people. If people like Bill Gates should do more, I'm like, bro, this motherfucker is donating a lot of money and he's doing a lot more than you probably are. It's like all these people who are saying you should donate, you should donate. I'm like, okay, well, guess what? You got $300 at the end of every month. What are you doing with it? Well, I'm going to the bar. Everyone can put in their work and everyone's just complaining and complaining and complaining. And yeah, probably Zuckerberg and Elon Musk and all those people could be doing more. But it's just one of those things like, dude.
No, I don't believe that. I honestly do not believe that they have a requirement to do more. I genuinely believe that the net positive that they have brought with from an economical perspective, from setting up, scaling and building their companies. You think about all the marketing tools that Facebook have. People have been, all of the small businesses that have been leveraging Facebook ads for the last 7 years, but fucking putting money in their own pockets. Like, it is absolutely stupid to flame these guys who are they have molded our society, and they to be honest, they're as close to fucking gods as we actually have evidence for. Like, it is crazy.
It is weird. If Elon Musk rolls up in a Starbucks,
crazy the amount of value these guys have brought to us, and it's so cool that we live in a time when we can be there. They deserve everything. To fucking fair play to Elon Musk. The guy called him out and was like, donate $8 billion to world hunger. Elon Musk was like, I'll do it. Tell me what you're going to spend it on. The guy sent him a list. Elon Musk liquidated $8 billion worth of his stock. And he sent
it's not good
them
enough. That's the thing. Yeah, it's never good enough. Okay, well, you did that. What about this?
Yeah, and it's like you can't win. And it's like, even when he gets called out like that, and it's like, well, okay, well, I've built these companies, and it's not like this is money sitting in my fucking bank account. I have to do a liquidation event, and so I'll do this. And then it makes it is crazy to me. So I have nothing but respect for those guys. I think deep down, I think that they are very well-intentioned people who were they are the gigabrains of the gigabrains. They are like Bezos, Zuckerberg, Musk. They are the fucking peak gigabrains in the world.
Yeah.
And I believe in meritocracy.
You have to empathize with everyone. You can't just pick and choose when you're empathetic too. And I think it sounds like we're like maxis for these people is because we're just showing the other side of it. And yes, there's things that came bad from social media. There's things that are bad that came from Amazon, but there's also a lot of good stuff. But the thing is with people who are like, I saw this with what's his name, Joe Rogan controversy that happened when he was like getting called out for all these things that he did in the past. And I remember there was a talk show where they were talking about it, and they were like, yeah, I just don't like what he said. They're like, well, and then right after they said, they're like, well, I've never actually watched a single episode of Joe Rogan. And I was like,
yes,
are you fucking kidding me? And there's so many people who don't even know that there's multiple very long form podcasts with Mark Zuckerberg where you actually listen to what he's saying and you get to peek into his emotional state, into how he's a human. In fact, like, did you know he has like kids? Or I don't know, actually, I can't remember if Zuckerberg has kids. He has a wife. He's got like a family.
He does have kids. He does, yeah.
Like Elon Musk has like 12, he has like 15 kids. Right, he's got like a family. He's like a normal dude, and people don't realize that because they don't even know, because they haven't listened to the podcast. All they've done is read headlines that other people wrote, and it's like, you have a duty to yourself if you're going to talk shit or if you're going to even spread good messages about these people, to do your due diligence and actually listen to these podcasts. Go on a walk and listen to a Mark Zuckerberg podcast, so you have a little bit more of a well-rounded perspective on this. Because we're in headline culture, you have no choice but to do your research, or else you're just going to be roped along, because everyone has their own thing that they're trying to get out of it. If there's Fox News, they're trying to push the narrative that Trump is dope, or not Trump is dope, the Republicans are dope, and they're doing all these things. And if you're watching another thing, they're trying to push the narrative that's the total opposite. And you need to be aware and watch both, and then do research on both before you make an opinion. And plus, your opinion probably doesn't even matter. Like in the end, all these conversations are like, and what? Like, we're all saying like, and what? Like nothing, literally nothing.
Exactly. And that's the thing, is like, that's why I decide to have nothing but respect for what these people are trying to do. And the the pressure that they put themselves under, I don't think anyone, it's unfathomable to us mortals who, we're just trying to like make it.
Muggles.
It is like we're trying to take it step by step. And I'm a huge fan of people who are just trying to push themselves, push society, help others. And it's an easy equation for me to like kind of calculate in my mind. I'm like, okay, yeah, that person's trying to do something with their life. Sick. Fucking sick. And that's the crazy cool thing about we're, because both me and you, like we are YouTubers because we've always loved YouTube. We've loved the kind of the format that it is, and the depth that you can get, the breadth that you can get to learn stuff. And we live in a world where we can now listen to a podcast of Gary Vee interviewing Mark Zuckerberg, or Joe Rogan spending 9+ hours with Elon Musk.
Yeah,
really like having deep, meaningful conversations that you would have with your friends. How sick is that? It is so cool that we have access to that material. So yeah, I just can think that we're blessed, and it's I find that stuff intriguing, and that was always been my mission, was to help curate a group of interested people who are just interested in shit, because why not?
Hell yeah. And
you're one of them. It's like, yeah, and I consider you to be a very like a great example of that. Someone who is interested in furthering themselves, bettering themselves, and just really trying to maximize their experience on this planet.
Yeah, it's exhausting too. I saw a TikTok of some guy who's like me trying to balance my social life, go to the gym, work on my mental health, post things, like doing like 15 different things. I was like, man, it's fucking exhausting. And I made a TikTok about this right after, and I said, look, if you don't care to win, you don't need to do any of these things. You don't need to hustle. You don't even need to pay attention to the people hustling, because if you don't want to win, you don't have to. There are people who want to win for whatever reason. It's probably insecurity from like when they were a kid. For some reason, I want to win. I want to take over the world, not take over the world. I want to like win, take over my world. I want to have control over my shit, and I want to win. I want to win whatever game I'm playing for whatever reason. And because of that, because I want to win, I have to sacrifice literally fucking everything. Like I literally have to. And you can knock on me for that, but if you don't want to win, it's not going to make any sense to you, right? It's like someone who's going to be a doctor. Why the fuck would you go to 12 years of school? Because I want to be a fucking doctor. Like that's why I want to be, like that's why I'm doing it. And so I wish people would be more empathetic, and we're just going to echo Gary Vee. Empathy is the answer, because you can understand people more, and that should be the goal. I saw some verbiage in a Buddhist text or something. Or no, it was not Buddhist. It was Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey. He met with some dude in like the Amazon, and they were arguing about this concept over something specific, and they were talking about and sharing their both opinions on each side. And at the end, Matthew jumps in and says, I think he's right because, and the guy fucking slapped him. His friend slapped him. And he said, it's not about who's fucking right. He goes, it's about understanding each other. He said, that's it. It doesn't matter if you're right or I'm wrong. And it won't even make a difference, even if we prove one or the other right. And so empathy is the answer to that. So
it was something that I've like last week that I was I read, like I was listening to a podcast with a guy who really cool podcast actually, and the guy was talking about how entrepreneurship can be boiled down to like A, B, and C, and A being the word attunement, which is the ability to see from someone else's perspective, which is empathy. And that was something that I caught myself actively doing last week, was when I felt like an emotional response to something, taking myself out of myself and looking at it from the other person's perspective, or from a kind of maybe a completely passive perspective, and trying to empathize around that. That was really, it was actually quite fun as well. Like to actively be like, actually remove myself out from this. Let me take a look at it, see it from, try and put myself into, say, if I was having a conversation with you, try and put myself in Cade's through and look through his eyes. It's quite fun, like thinking about that. And you realize, oh, he could be thinking, Cade could be looking at it from this perspective. And especially when everything's digital and we rely on texts, which are notoriously shit for form of communication, for like communicating tone, emotion. So it's good to just check yourself and try and see things from others' perspective. And that was why, like, from an entrepreneur's point of view, it's extremely important to be able to have that, because you're managing people, you are having to, you're constantly trying to have to fit things together, and to do that you need to take yourself out of your fucking brain and look at it from everyone's point of view. So
agree.
Empathy is the answer.
Yeah. And then we have a question, last question. We're gonna probably top off here, but I have not heard of David Snyder, or maybe I've heard of the name, but I don't know who that is. I don't know.
Negative,
but I'm sure it has probably something to do with empathy or something we're talking. But anyways, we're gonna pop out of here. I think that was dope. That's a solid conversation. Talked about a lot of shit. Is there any last minute things you want to end on, or?
No, dude. I was just looking up David Snyder. Then it looks like he's empathy. It looks like he's an empathy expert. Yeah. So,
right well, if you need some empathy expert, go to David Snyder. And if you made it to the end, code word is gonna be fuck empathy, because we've been talking about it and it's important. And if you want to have empathy, you have to probably do some work and figure out who that other person is. You can't know what my perspective is going to be if you don't know anything about me. Like, you have to do some of that work and stuff like that. So code word empathy if you made it to the end. Thank you so much for being in here. Subscribe to the channel, subscribe to Tom's channel. All his stuff's in the description below. Smash a like in this video. It helps the channel out tremendously. And follow us on Twitter. Join the Discord down below in the description. Fuck, that's pretty much it. So continue to engage, continue to learn, and we're grateful you're alive watching this fucking video. Bye.